Hi everyone, so today I'm going to teach you how to diagram a sentence. But before that, let me define first what is sentence diagramming. Sentence diagramming is a pictorial representation of a grammatical structure of a sentence. There are 4 lines that you'll need for sentence diagramming. First is horizontal line. To write the subject, verb, and objects, you need a horizontal line. Next is vertical line. We use vertical lines to separate our subject, our verb, and objects. The third is diagonal lines. It is used to write modifiers, prepositions, and articles. The last one is dotted vertical or diagonal lines. It is used for conjunction. Whenever the sentence has a conjunction, we use dotted. Before I'm going to teach you how to diagram a sentence, we should know first the components of a sentence. The components of a sentence has subject. Subject is who or what the sentence is about. The noun is indirect object. The person, thing, the action is done, to, or for. Next is modifiers. Words that provide additional details about a subject, action, or object in the sentence. Next is articles. Words that modify nouns. We also have prepositions. Relationship words that provide information about how the other part of the sentence fit together. Lastly is conjunction. Words that connect other words together. In diagramming a sentence, we are going first to identify the sentence elements or the components. So the example sentence here is monkeys eats. So in this example sentence, we're going to identify where is the subject and the verb. Next is place the subject, verb, and direct object together and underline them. Our sentence is monkeys eat. So monkeys is our subject, eat is our verb. So we are going to take monkeys and eat and put it together and underline them. Next is we are going to separate the subject from the verb with a vertical line that crosses the underlined. So our example sentence is monkeys eat. As we said, monkeys is our subject and eat is our verb. In order to separate them, we are going to draw a vertical line that crosses the underline between them. So I have here another example of a sentence. Anna sings. So we are going to identify our subject and our verb. Since Anna is our subject and our verb is sings. So we're going to put Anna and sings next together and underline it. Then to separate Anna, our subject, and our verb with a vertical line that crosses under our underline. The next step of diagramming a sentence is separate the direct object from the verb with a vertical line that does not cross the underline. Now let's proceed to another example of a sentence. This sentence has a subject, a verb, and a direct object. I have here another example of a sentence. Monkeys eat bananas. What happens if our sentence has a direct object? In the sentence, monkeys eat bananas, we ask question, what do monkeys eat? Since we answered that question with a banana, so our direct object here is bananas. Going back to our steps, we place our subject, verb, and our direct object next together and underlined it. Then, we separate our subject and verb with a vertical line that crosses the underline. Then, we separate our verb and our direct object with a vertical line that does not cross the underline. This is what we do when we have a direct object in our sentence. The next step of diagramming a sentence is keep adjectives and articles with the noun they modify. And place them on a separate diagonal lines touching the word they modify. Now, let's see what we do when we have words that modifies either our subject or our direct object. In this sentence, the fat monkeys eat yellow bananas. The and fat describes the monkeys and yellow describes the banana. In our initial steps, we pull out our subject, which is monkeys. Eat is as our verb, bananas is our direct object, and underline together. Next is we separate the subject and our verb with a vertical line that crosses the underline. Then, separate our verb and our direct object with a vertical line that does not cross the underlined. The and fat are both words that describes the monkeys, so they need to form a unit and stay together as a unit in the diagram. We indicate this by placing those words on its own separate diagonal line that touches the word that they describe. The and fat describes the monkey, so they are connected with the monkey in the diagram. Yellow describes the banana, so it's on its own diagonal line coming out from the bananas. Here's another step in sentence diagramming. Indirect objects are connected to the verb by a started line with 2 or 4 that becomes a line parallel to underlined with a direct object. In the sentence, the monkeys offer the bananas to the gorillas. The monkeys is our subject, offer is our verb, and bananas is our direct object. In the sentence, the monkeys offer the bananas to the gorillas. Our subject here is monkey, offer is our verb, bananas is our direct object, and gorillas is our indirect object, because it describes to whom the bananas are given. Because D forms a unit with the monkeys, so the diagonal line comes from the monkeys. Now, let's separate our subject and our verb with a vertical line that crosses the underline, and separate our verb and our direct object with a vertical line that does not cross the underline. Now, let's deal with our indirect object first. So, our indirect object is 2 gorillas. So, we're going to draw a slanted line from offer to 2 and draw a parallel line to a gorilla. Then, because gorillas and D forms a unit, we are going to draw a diagonal line to them. In diagramming a sentence is, with a linking verb, the second subject of a predicate nominative is written on the line with subject and verb, and the predicate nominative is separated from the verb by a slanted line that does not cross the underline. In the sentence, monkeys are goofy animals. Monkeys is our subject, are is our linking verb, animals is our predicate nominative or the second subject, and goofy modifies the animals. Place our subject monkey, the linking verb are, and the predicate nominative animals together and underlined it. So we separate our subject monkey and the verb are with a vertical line that crosses the underline. Instead of using vertical line that does not cross the underline in crossing the verb and the predicate nominative, we use the slanted line that does not cross the underline. Here we have goofy, an adjective that modifies the animals, so the diagonal line must touch the animal's diagram. So that's all for today's lesson. I hope you already now know how to diagram a sentence. Thank you.